Hello, good morning, and welcome to this press point of the 17th European Space Conference. I have the pleasure to welcome Commissioner for Space and Defense, Mr. Andrius Kubilius, as well as Director General of the European Space Agency, Josef Aschbacher. We'll have some short introductory remarks before jumping into your questions. Commissioner, please, the floor is yours.
Good morning to everybody. Really, for me, it's a pleasure and honor to participate in such a big event devoted to space. As you know, my portfolio has two responsibilities: defense and space. In some ways, they are very much interrelated. Space is playing more and more important role from all the areas in our life, and also in space, in defense. And definitely, you know, we have very clear agenda what we want to do, looking into the nearest future and the longer term future. First of all, of course, quite soon we shall come with European space law, and also with European EU space industrial strategy. We are implementing EU space strategy for security and defense, and we are looking towards a fully fledged European space shield in the context of the white paper on the defense union. As you know, we are really very good in services like positioning with Galileo. We're very good in Earth observation with Copernicus. We shall be very good with satellite space communication, IRIS², but we need to catch up with access to space, and that is where we shall spend a lot of efforts really to be also very strong in that area. So we're looking also into investment side. And one of the important developments will be related with next multi-annual financial framework, where we are hoping that we shall manage to achieve an agreement that new budget adequately supports our new initiatives on space. And on different occasions, when we were talking about space, I always was using some kind of this metaphor that we need, when we were talking about defense, I was using metaphors that we need big bang on defense, because threats are very, very big ones. And that is why with incremental development, we shall not achieve our goals. In my view, the same is valid for space. We will need to produce fast, better, be innovative, and get ready for the difficult journey ahead of us. Because in the 21st century, space will be really most important area of development. And I hope to see how we shall keep our leadership in space. Thanks a lot.
So thank you. My name is Josef Aschbacher from the European Space Agency. I really would like to thank the European Commissioner for Defense and Space, Andrius Kubilius, for a very strong statement he just gave in the conference hall, and also the remarks now, which show very clearly that space is extremely important. We are very successful in Europe with delivering world-class space programs, Galileo, Copernicus, space science, and many other things. But we need to do more. We need to do more together. And this is also a very important message I would like to give from the side of the European Space Agency. We have a very important milestone this year, the European Space Agency's ministerial conference in November in Bremen. It is a conference that takes place on average every 3 years. It's a very important funding milestone. And if we want to prepare the future together, that means on the EU side, through the next multi-annual financial framework, on the ESA side, through the ESA ministerial conferences, we have to work hand in hand. And this is what I'm committed to do. I have been asked by my member states of the European Space Agency to work very closely with the European Commission in the next months to come, to make sure that our program proposal for the ESA Ministerial Conference at the end of this year is well aligned, is well coordinated with the future ambitions and programs of the European Union through the next MFF. And Andrius, I really would like to support you with your Big Bang, your request for Big Bang ideas. We have a need for Europe to have a big vision, a very clear set of programs and activities. We can do it because we have delivered excellence. And I'm convinced that also in the domain of defense and security, which is your portfolio, we can support you. We are at your disposal and we are ready to act together. Thank you.
Thank you very much to both of you. We now have time for some questions. Yes, please, here. Wait, we'll give you the microphone.
Hello, Sabrina Fritz, German Radio. How much money do you need to bring Europe back in space?
Well, Europe is in space, no problem from that point of view. What we are looking really how to keep our leadership in space, especially in some specific areas we are very good. We are leading global. Of course, we need new investments. We need to continue with our programs, which we are very good. But also we need to look for some what Joseph was saying. What I'm repeating, that we need some kind of big bang ideas. Big bang ideas, of course, needs additional money, both private and public. We are looking for next MFF. And we expect that, there will be additional funds available because definitely we need to understand that space is going through a revolution and we need to be in the leadership of that revolution.
We have here a question, please.
Thank you very much. It's Emanuele Bonacossi from Italian Public Television, RAI. What do you think about the Meloni government's intention to assign Elon Musk the management of military and government communication? Doesn't this pose a risk to Europe's sovereignty and security? Elon Musk has often taken sides in Europe's internal politics.
Well, that's for Italian government to decide what they want to do. It's not Commission responsibility. We are ready to be very good in development of Iris Square, which is exactly our response to some issues and challenges which all of us were facing, especially in Europe. And I hope that we shall continue in a good way cooperation with Italian space industry, which is very strong in Europe, and we shall be really also very strong globally. So I do not see here any kind of issues which we in Commission would need to be nervous about.
Maybe I'd like to add that Italy is a very strong member in the space community in Europe. It has provided the highest level of funding to the optional programs of ESA in 2022. It's well integrated in many programs, also including telecommunications, but also in Copernicus, Galileo, in the Explorer program. So Italy is a very strong member of the European Space Agency and European space activities. So I really would like to underline that.
Me?
Oh, sorry. I'll take the question here behind. Sorry. Yes, please. The question over here, please. Yes.
Hi. A question for both of you, please. I'm Paula Soler from Euronews. So Trump has paid a lot of attention to space and to investment in space. So is this good or bad news for Europe and for Europe's market and industry? Thank you.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? Speak a bit louder, please.
Sorry. So Trump has paid a lot of attention to space and to investment in space. So is this good or bad news for Europe and the European market? Thank you.
We are also paying a lot of attention to space. So what's the problem? So definitely, space, as I said, is going through a revolution, and Really, there are all the different initiatives. Somebody is declaring that they are going to Mars. We are looking also how to strengthen where we are very good in bringing services to the people. So I think that there are a lot of space in space for everybody. So, and that's why all the developments in space are very important, and we are looking how really to keep our capabilities also in space.
Since the question was to both of us, first of all, as I mentioned, we do need more funding in space. We have a European Space Agency conference coming in November, and certainly signals like the ones we hear from overseas are very necessary, very inspiring also for our decision makers to see how important space is for a country, for the population, for the security, for society, but also economic growth. And these are the arguments I will use with my decision makers to make sure that we get a very strong ESA ministerial, which prepares, together with the European Commission, the future of space in Europe.
We have time for 2 more questions before we close. Please, Jan, and then the sir here, just in front of you.
Does it work? Yes. John Botticelli, Bloomberg News. Commissioner, in your speech, you underlined that we need to be prepared in space also because in 5 years, Russia might be ready for a confrontation with NATO. My question is, are we today ready to defend Greenland in case the US decides to take it? Are we ready for that?
Well, we're ready to defend our member state, Denmark.
Frederick Castell, Radio Canada. Are you concerned by the huge changes in the US with the space programs and policy towards Europe? Thank you.
Well, as I said, really we see the future of space as going through some kind of revolutionary developments with new frontiers becoming open. And that is why, in some way, competition, global competition, in my view, is a good, moving force for everybody. And that's what, as CEO of European Space Agency was saying, that is a good argument for us also to see what we need to do. What we need to do in order to be in the leadership of those developments which are coming. So yes, we see that United States is doing, important developments in space, and we need to be, ready for competition and for strengthening our capabilities.
Just one more comment on the situation, because quite often many of your questions are comparing Europe with the US. I would like to underline that Europe is excellent in space. We have some of the best space programs in the world. You mentioned it, Commissioner, Copernicus, Galileo, space science, and many other things. We have not enough funding, so the situation becomes more intense and more severe. So we need to increase funding. This is crystal clear, but we are starting from a very high level of competence and excellence in the European space community. And I really would like to say this very clear, because sometimes we hear in between the lines that Europe may not be up to the job. We are really good, we're really excellent, but of course, my plea is always that we need strong space programs together with the European institutions to make sure that in this fast evolving domain, which has a lot of opportunities, we will succeed and continue to have success for Europe.
Thank you, Herr Aschbacher. Thank you, Commissioner. This closes this press point. Have a good day.